I'm going to show you the trick that I use to make suspension links that are 4 times stronger than your standard DOM links, while at the same time having a smaller footprint, which makes it so much easier to mock up and place underneath custom builds like these. Today in the shop, I'm going to be taking a break from the podcasting schedule because I have a project that I need to knock out for a friend's off-road rig that is really heavy. See, the problem is that he's got this beefy Dana 80 axle under this F250, and he thought originally that going with 2-inch DOM tube would be the strongest choice to go with, and that seems like a great idea, except for the bracing that goes underneath the engine takes up so much room, and he's working with some tight tolerances on a lot of things right now, so we're having to get a little more creative, and I've got what he needs, and we're going to build it today. So I already know the dimensions that I need to make this track bar. That's 36.5 inches from eyelet to eyelet. And then I'm gonna make 1 inch of in and out travel on these heims when I put it together. The bar itself is a simple construction because it's just gonna be one straight bar, no curves added. I want it straight and as strong as possible. And what we're gonna do to make that bar extra strong is we're gonna be using 1.5 inch DOM, this quarter wall, and then we're gonna be filling that DOM with an aluminum bar. So what's gonna happen here is it's going to increase the strength exponentially because this aluminum bar is extremely rigid and it refuses to bend out of shape and not want to return to shape. All right, so now that my main tube is cut to length, and that's looking good, now I can measure out how long I need my aluminum slug to be, and that is going to come out for my application to be 28 inches. The big thing is that your aluminum cannot be the same length as your tube, of course, because you've got to have room for your ends to go in. Otherwise, your rod is not going to be able, your heims are not going to be able to sleeve into your rod. Now, for the next problem to solve in this equation, this rod is a 1-inch diameter. This tube is a 1-inch diameter. Needless to say, this is not going to allow this to fit. What you have to do before this can be applied is you actually have to mill down the outside surface and bring its circumference down just a hair so that it can slide in. But the way I ground that thing down was I started with a really rough 60 grit, took off some major material. Once I got it down close to where it's ready to slide into the tube, then I moved up to a 600 grit. That 600 grit gave me a smooth finish so that that coarse edge that the 60 grit leaves doesn't catch the tube as we're sliding in. So a few things to take note. When you're ready to install that slug into your tube, the one thing you want to do is, one, make sure that it's cool and smooth. Don't leave the coarseness of the grind left on that rod so that it will actually slide in smooth. Grease it up with some WD-40 so it'll slide a little better. And then you want to take the inside edge of your tube and bevel it just slightly, just to take that harsh edge off the bevel right here in the inside diameter. What that'll do is keep it from biting into the aluminum when you try to press it in. That'll keep it from scarring the metal, rolling up little slivers of metal and getting it stuck, because you really don't want to get that aluminum halfway in and then find out that it's seized up, and it's really ruins your day. Now, once that slug is all the way in and I've left room on each side for my heims to go in, I'm gonna go ahead and lay everything back on my fab table, put in my heims on the ends, and get ready to weld those in. I make sure to bevel the tube at around a 45-degree angle where the threading for the heims, the little bungs, go into the tubing, so that way I have plenty of room to burn these things in and get good penetration on both the bung and the tube. Now, just a quick side note, if you're new to Mud Tire Media, of course you can see behind me that we do fabrication here, and we have projects going all the time that apply to off-road, camping, overlanding, things like that. But we also do so much more. We build all kinds of Jeeps We have two LJs in the shop right now. One is an original LJ, the other one is a custom stretched LJ. We have JKUs, we have heavy duty diesel off-roaders and tow rigs. We're building engines all the time. We're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And one of our newest things that we do is the Mud Tire Media podcast. And this is just a whole lot of banter, fun, informative stuff that's different every day. So if you're liking what you see, give us a try, click subscribe, give us a like, and stick around a little longer because there may be more coming out soon that you might enjoy. So give us a shot. Like I said, it's free to you. Right now, I've got to show you the vehicle that we built this custom track bar for so you understand why I went to the extra lengths to make this thing extra beefy and rigid. This is the massive rig that we had to build an unbeatable track bar for. Now, obviously, this thing is extra heavy, but it's also extra beefy, extra built up. This thing is a off-road recovery truck, basically, and it will drag you out of whatever situation you got yourself into. Definitely. Yeah.
Because there's some, I could have sworn we chose one that was the...
That's looking pretty good. You're clearancing everything. So, you happy with it?
It looks fabulous.
The reason I'm ending this video with this footage is not to show off a recent off-road trip or anything like that. It's to prove to you just how good this track bar is because of the modification that we've just now done to it. This truck, as heavy as it is, has now gone from blowing out bushings and heims from off-the-shelf track bars and bending smaller, less aggressive track bars and having fitment issues with oversized, overbuilt track bars. Now it is having no issues hitting easy trails, difficult trails, articulation. It's doing everything just how he wants it to work. And if this truck, as heavy as it is, can work like this and not have any issues with 1.5 inch diameter DOM with an aluminum sleeve inside, you can use this on your next build. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. I really hope that you're able to implement this in your home, in your shop, and let me know, was this useful to you? Have you seen this done before? Because I'm not the first one who's come up with it, and I won't be the last one to use it either. This is just knowledge sharing through the years. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you get to tell me how this enhances your suspension in the future. Leave it down in the comments because I really do want to know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.